once found a work in progress that I had completely forgotten about. Like, I saw it and I had to think, like, did I act? This is mine? Like, where did this come from? It was inside a Christmas shopping bag that was behind a stack of, like, batting scraps that I had saved, okay, inside my closet. When I realized that it was, in fact, my project, my first thought was not, oh, yay! It was, oh, no. This is another thing that I didn't finish. Yeah. So, we're going to talk about quilt guilt today and how to let it go. Hey there, welcome back to Loose Threads and Stitches. I am Christen from icystarsquilting.com, and this is part 5 of our Get Out of Your Own Way series, helping overwhelmed creatives reconnect with their joy. Today, we're talking about the shame pile, the stack of UFOs, the unfinished, the untouched, the what was I thinking projects, and the guilt that quietly tells us we're not well quilters if we can't finish everything that we start. Whew. Yeah, this one's kind of heavy, but in this episode, I want to rewrite that story. So, what do you say? Let's rewrite that story today. So let's talk for a second about where that guilt comes from. You look at a half-bound quilt top and it doesn't feel neutral, right? It feels like a failure, like something else on your to-do list, right? Not finishing becomes a story about your follow-through, your worth, your identity, and that you, no matter how hard you try, you just can't finish all the things that you've started. Here's the fact. The average quilter has multiple unfinished projects. Also fact, finishing everything that you start is not a personality trait. It's a productivity myth. Now, I've talked to a lot of quilters, and the works in progress and UFOs did not gain their popularity for their scarcity. Okay? Every single quilter has some projects that they have yet to finish. So you are not alone in that at all. And I do know, let me take that back. I do know that there are some quilters who do one project at a time. They work on that project, they finish that project, they start the next project. I don't know how they do it. I mean, that's probably something I should research and figure out, and then I could come back on here and share it with you. I don't know how they do it. But I don't know. I'm going to have to do some more figuring out on that. But most quilters, let's just say that, most quilters definitely have works in progress and UFOs. So I started this lap quilt for myself during a really, really big cold snap. I cut all the pieces out. I started piecing them together. I pieced half the quilt top together, actually. And then I got busy. I got distracted. The cold snap ended because I live in Texas, and sometimes a cold snap lasts an afternoon. Sometimes we get weird ice storms. I don't know, it's just kind of like a roulette every single time you walk out the door when it's in the wintry months in Texas. Okay, is it gonna be hot? Is it gonna be cold? Who knows? And for years I kept looking at this project, and I kept telling myself that I had failed. But here's the truth. I didn't fail. I put it on pause, and I got distracted by other things. And one day I picked it up again, and I did. I ended up finishing that project, and I love it because of the pause, not in spite of the pause, okay? It just needed a little bit of time to sit there while my skills got much better along the way. So if you lose interest or you lose inspiration, if you hit a wall, a skill wall, or something that you weren't ready for, you didn't like how it was turning out, maybe, life happened, as it does, right? None of these mean that you are lazy or you're flaky. They just mean that you are a living, breathing, creative human. Yeah. Guess what? You're normal. So what if we gave ourselves permission to not finish everything that we started to say, this project taught me something. That's what its job was. What if you donated a half-finished quilt top that you were no longer inspired by, or you turned it into something smaller and you made a pillowcase out of it or something? What if it's not failure, but it is a moment of feedback in your life? So, if you really, really do want to make progress with your UFO inventory, I want you to try this ritual, okay? And UFOs, I think I didn't mention it before, but those are unfinished objects, okay? So step 1, pull them all out. Yeah, you can pull them all out, okay? I want you to touch each one of them, and I want you to ask yourself, do I still want to finish this? Step 3 is to label them. You can label them, yes, I'm excited to finish this one. Maybe later, or nah, and just release it. Keep only the ones that light a spark inside you. It's okay to say goodbye to the rest of them. And I did a much more in-depth video on quilt guilt on my channel a while back, and it's been a very popular video on my channel, and it goes more in depth into this and kind of more like the psychology and stuff behind it. If you want to check that out, I will leave a link across the top of the screen, and I'll also put it down in the description box down below this podcast so that you can check it out, because I think we're just really hard on ourselves, and I don't know why. It's just that perfectionism like we talked about in a couple weeks ago, where we just feel like we started something, we have to finish it, right? But your unfinished projects, they don't define you. They don't cancel out your creativity. They're just pieces of your process, and every piece on this journey is valid. So the takeaway truth in today's episode is you are not behind. You're allowed to pause. And even with that, you're still a real quilter. So thank you for letting me sit with you in the honest parts of today's episode. Please make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss next week's episode of this series that I'm doing here on the podcast. We are going to be talking about bringing the joy back into quilting and how to make it feel really, really good again. Until then, take a breath, go pet your fabric, and I will see you next week, same time, same place. Have a great rest of your day. I'm Christen with Icy Stars Quilting.